Hi dear students, my name is Subramaniam. In this video, I'm going to share day before exam strategy, particularly for CA Inter May 2025, beautiful subject financial management. Hey dear students, don't think about yesterday's exam, right? That was history. Set fire to it and watch this video till to the end and implement it in coming exams. Certainly you create a history. It's my promise. Then why you are late? Move fast. Okay. Coming to here, particularly financial management exam pattern. First of all, you should understand this is a paper 6A. Yes, financial management. The marks would be 50 marks, but weightage would be given to 62. These students, it has the two parts, right? One is the division A and division B. Division A, you have a case scenario based MCQ questions would be there. 15 marks you have to answer, whereas the descriptive part would be part B questions, whereas you have to 35 marks you have to answer. So 35 plus 15, beautifully you will get the 50 marks. Okay, right. Coming to in the examination preparations, first preference chapters, what we have to give it. In this video, I will tell you not only the first preference chapters, but also topics also, okay? Because time is very less, right? We must be very attentive, okay? Coming to first chapter, I will give always preference to leverage chapter because it is a compulsory, easy, and even it can boost your confidence level once this chapter gets completed. In this model, from past observing the past trend questions, they will certainly ask you operating leverage, financial leverage, combined leverage. Along with this, don't forget certain concepts, key concept, asset turnover ratio, margin of safety. From margin of safety, how do you find operating leverage? And the financial leverage, with respect to financial leverage, they will ask you whether it is a favorable or unfavorable, at what conditions. And at the same time, how do you find fixed cost from BEP points? And at the same time, financial leverage, they will ask you with the preference dividend, right? When there is no preference dividend, so what would be the procedure to find it out, the financial leverage? Then there is a chance to ask return on investment, return on equity, return on asset, and at the same time, segment benefit analysis. And certainly check at what level of sales your EBT would be zero. This point also important. And comprehensive model, they will ask you at the end of the problem. And at the same time, you can expect a theory part also asking a business risk and financial risk. This is the details with respect to leverage. The next chapter is cost of capital. In this cost of capital, certainly they will concentrate how to compute weighted average cost of capital. For the weighted average cost of capital, you must understand how to calculate various specific costs, particularly in cost of debt. So use the shortcut method. By using shortcut method, YTM method, how do you calculate the cost of debt and a convertible debenture, and finding fair value of debenture is very important. Coming to cost of equity estimation using CAPM approach, where K equal to RF plus beta into RM minus RF. That formula is very important. On constant growth rate model, Gordon's growth rate model is a very important. These two models you pay attention. Thereafter, calculation of weighted average cost of capital. So preference are there, once you have the knowledge of cost of debt, right, automatically you can find it out, right? Calculation of weighted average cost basing on book value, basing on market value, you concentrate. So when the KE equal to KR, okay, and at the same time, while calculating weighted average cost of capital, don't ignore the treatment of flotation cost and personal tax. And thereafter, marginal cost of capital. Whenever the company wants to raise an additional funds, right, in such a case, you have to find it out another cost which is called marginal cost of capital. So marginal cost of capital estimation, don't forget the risk element of debt holders and equity shareholders, right? So this is very important key points, dear students. Coming to capital structure. A capital structure is a mix of long-term funds. So particularly every company wants to raise this long-term funds, right, in an optimum manner. For that purpose, to determine what would be the optimum mix of the debt, equity and preference, for that purpose, we have to make multiple analysis. So one of the analysis is nothing but EBIT, EPS analysis. The three problems are there. Don't forget to solve that one. EBIT, EPS analysis. In this analysis, what we do, we will take EBIT and we will find EPS, right? So up to EBIT, EPS, that is EBIT, EPS analysis. Thereafter, with the support of PE ratio, we will also find it out the market price. So EBIT, EPS, EBIT market price analysis, pay very important model that is, okay. For this, PE ratio and at the same time debt equity ratio and EPS estimation, market price estimation, risk element of equity shareholders and debenture holders. Pay attention for these concepts, right? Thereafter, financial break-even point. It is the level of EBIT at which EPS is zero. Such a concept is called break-even point. Indifference point analysis. It is the level of EBIT at which EPS remains same in between two financial plans. So indifference point also you check it, right? Thereafter, capital structure theories. The capital structure theories is a fundamental guidelines which support us to determine an optimum capital structure. In order to identify a capital structure is an optimum, we will search the capital structure with the viewpoint of multiple theories. First of all, before going to touch these theories, learn all the assumptions of all the theories. Net income theory, David first theory, debt is always best because it is a least cost. That is his argument. Net operating income theory, debt is not a best and worst. Debt is a just, it is argument. It is also David Durant second theory. Traditional theory suggested by Israel Solomon, debt is best up to certain level. Thereafter, it will become riskiest and costliest. Okay, and finally theory, Modigliani and Miller theory. So their argument is very simple. So in this Modigliani-Miller theory, what happened? It practically proved net operating income approach with a concept called arbitrage. You try to concentrate how to estimate market value of firms, particularly levered firms, unlevered firms, in the presence of tax, in the absence of tax with respect to theory. Okay, dear students, well, coming to dividend decision. See, dividend decision, financial management decisions being classified into three, right? Well, we know that one is the financing, one is the dividend, another one is investment. So dividend decision is very important. Whenever the company makes a profit, the company thinks what to do with this earned profit. Should we retain or should we declare? So here they may ask you that what is a dividend, what is a dividend decision, what is the dividend models, okay, what are the models are there, relevant models, irrelevant models. In relevant models, you will have a Walter theory. So Walter theory certainly argues that the dividend decision will influence the market price. So Walter model and Gordon model, right? You check it, this both the models, and at the same time dividend discount model, right? At the same time, very important, Modigliani-Miller theory. It is an irrelevant theory. Its argument is that whether company pay dividend or not to pay dividend, that does not influence the market value of equity come market value of firm. It does not. So he practically proved with the given formulas also, right? So pay attention for Modigliani-Miller also, and at the same time have an idea about how to find it out EPS and the rate of return on investment and cost of equity and the growth rate also, because the Gordon model is very important with respect to growth rate. And at the same time, there must be certain concepts you must keep it in mind: dividend payout ratio, retaining ratio, fair value of security, and at the same time another, there is a 2 marks question you can expect, a Linter's model, whereas each and every model, either it is a Walter, either Gordon or right? Don't forget its assumptions, because assumption plays very important. And at the same time, each model, in order to prove that, you must have the command over to the formulas of the concern concepts or concern models. Yeah, capital investment decision. Next one is very important chapter, capital investment decision, where the company wants to invest in a fixed asset, a long-term project, whether it is worthable or not. So how the company knows? Because by analyzing various capital budgeting models, it can assess, right? For this purpose, NPV, wonderful always, profitability index, internal rate of return, payback period, right? These are the first, you give preference to this model, and don't forget to give the importance of the capital rationing, right? While calculating all these things, there are certain concepts you have to keep it in mind. One is the working capital treatment, subsidy, when should you use present value factor, when should you use annuity factor, what would be the set off loss effect, and at the same time profit versus gain, and particularly treatment of depreciation in the presence of tax, in the absence of tax. And at the same time, sometimes in order to find it out contribution, they will provide you contribution ratio. So whereas a PV ratio also, no, once contribution ratio, PV ratio is a given, then what would be the variable cost ratio also you have to assess. And missing value model problem and comprehensive model, and the tax and tax shield, and incremental investment based problem also is there, you check it, right? And particularly NPV, IRR, profitability index, whenever you are going to solve the problems, don't forget to write assumptions, okay? Thereafter, advanced concept and investment decision is there. Advanced concept investment decision, there might be a chance to design a problem where he may consider a NPV evaluation, right, basing on NPV, sunk cost, common cost, opportunity cost, working capital treatment. By considering all these things, he may design a question. And NPV IRR conflict also, there is important size disparity, life disparity, cash flow disparity. And there is a one more model, you check it, a replacement decision, particularly with the block of asset concept, right? And finally, there is a wonderful topic, adjusted NPV. Yeah, adjusted NPV, base case NPV concept. Also, you check it. Thereafter, finally, working capital management. Dear students, working capital is amount of capital required to do maintain day-to-day business in a smooth way, in order to maintain its fixed assets in a smooth way, right? For this purpose, the working capital estimation is very, very important. Particularly, you should know what is the cash cost basis, total cost basis, and working capital estimation for existing firm or new firm. And you should also identify, along with cash cost, total cost, and margin of safety, and the conversion cost, work in progress estimation, raw material, what percentage we have to take into the consideration. Could they provide it, or should we take a decision, right? Thereafter, operating cycle, cash cycles, net operating cycle periods, working capital estimation basing on operating cycle, inventory conversion period, right? Impact on working capital, all these things you pay attention. Coming to debtors management, evaluation of particularly credit policy, right? Whether first time you are offering or extending, and evaluation of cash discount policy, like a 2 bar 10 net 42, 5 bar 20 net 40. So whether this policy is worthable or not. So evaluation of cash discount, you check it. And coming to factoring, very, very important, evaluation of factoring service, and effective cost of factoring also there would be a chance to ask. And another one is a cash budget. Particularly in estimation of cash budget, pay concentration on credit policy, and at the same time when we are going to pay actually to payments of creditors, particularly for preparation of cash budget. And maximum permissible bank finance, 2 marks you can expect MCQ also. And optimum cash management models, there is a chance to ask Baumol theory and Miller theory, and creditors management. Oh, finally, dear students, financial analysis through ratios. So types of ratios you should understand: capital structure, leverage ratio, liquidity ratio, activity ratio, profitability ratio, right? And that profitability, owner's point of view based on sales, based on asset, and based on investment, and due point model. Dear students, finally, the stay positive when exams are getting closer, because you've done a lot of work, right? Avoid yesterday's exam discussion, focus on tomorrow's exam, make a quick review, and visualize success. Certainly, you will get the success. All the best.
Hello everyone, welcome to this session. In this session, we are going to discuss one day before examination strategy for students of CA Inter May 2025. The paper name is Strategic Management, a 50 marks paper. Now we have 5 chapters in SM, right? We have picked up some of the most important and probable topics, probable concepts for CA Inter SM May 2025 examination. Sir, what is the use of this video or session means? If any student, due to certain time pressures, I hope most of the students might have prepared very well. For some reasons, if the time is very limited, you cannot skip these list of concepts which we are going to announce in this little session. So these topics are mandatory. If you have additional time, please go through all the remaining topics. That's a fortunate thing anyway. Now come to the first chapter. Now introduction to SM. Now my guess for May 2025 examination would be the probable question is business level management roles. What is the role of a business level manager? And the second one would be what is the role of a corporate level manager? Please look after these two questions, right? I don't think functional level manager roles will be asked in May 2025. So please be cautious with business level manager roles and role of corporate level people. Thereafter, please do concentrate on this beautiful concept called vision. There might be a question on vision. Either he may ask the concept of vision, or he might ask, in addition to that, 4 essential qualities required to prepare a very good vision statement. So please watch for this question in May 2025. Thereafter, it's a remote question. Frequently, it won't be asked in the exam, but I have a little probability for this question. So please do give minimum care to the strategic intent concept. My strong guess would be limitations of SM and concept of values. These 3 dotted questions have highest probability to the extent of 95% probability in May 2025 SM examination for CA Inter. The rest of the topics, they have a very good chance. Don't leave these half a dozen topics, just 6 topics. I have selected only 6 topics from chapter 1. Be good with them. Rest of the topics, if you have time, go after them. Right now, come to the chapter number 2 now. Please be cautious with two little topics. They were never asked so frequently in the examination, but I have a remote guess now. PLC and experience curve. These are two little topics, may be asked because they won't be placed in A category questions by any faculty throughout India. So please be watchful about these two concepts called PLC and experience curve. Right, there are so many practical questions, scenario questions regarding competitive landscape in RTP MTPs also. So highest probability is for the concept called competitive landscape. For two attempts, for the past two attempts, have been concentrating on this question, customer behavior, but it doesn't appear in the past examinations under new syllabus. This time, great chance. Don't leave it. This time, fortune favors us. So hopefully there might be a question on customer behavior. KSFs, it's a great topic, never asked in the exam under new syllabus. So please focus on it. Need for globalization. There are so many reasons for globalization. Don't leave the topic. This is a very little topic. Hopefully it might be asked in MCQs or in some other form. 3 characteristics of global businesses. And the last one, we can't leave this topic. That's why I'm adding this 8th topic, value chain analysis, for any attempt. So we have picked up, I have generally picked up 8 topics roughly: PLC, competitive landscape, experience curve, customer behavior, KSFs, reasons for globalization in the form of MCQs, 3 characteristics of global businesses, and we can't leave this beautiful topic, value chain analysis. 8 altogether, 8 topics from chapter 2, 6 from chapter 1. Now come to chapter number 3, strategic analysis of internal environment. Right, anyone can't deny this fact. You have to go through cost leadership, differentiation. That's a mandatory for chapter 3. Very easy topics, of course. Case scenario wise, I'm talking about case scenario point of view. I'm not talking about theoretical point of view. Then you have to focus on, of course, focus strategies, and the last one being a best cost provider strategy. Right, remote chance, I can't exactly guess the fact that SGM will appear, but there's a chance. There's a little chance for SGM, right? I have a great chance. This concept has a great chance. I have great probability from my personal point of view. Core competencies and 3 broad areas, like CCA is the acronym we have used in classes. Core competencies and 3 broad areas to search for CCs. So please have a one read, just have a glance over different marketing strategies like synchro marketing, demarketing, etc., social marketing, enlightened marketing for MCQ purposes, right? So cost leadership, differentiation, focus strategy, and the last topic never asked in the exam, be cautious about the topic called best cost provider strategy. My strong guess from chapter number 3 would be core competencies and 3 broad areas, right? If chance permits, SGM might be asked. Now come to the 4th chapter, now strategic choices. In the previous attempt, he has asked the differences between, in the past 2-3 attempts under new syllabus, difference between VID and HID. My strong guess for this attempt will be concentric diversification. Else all type, be good with all types of mergers, and especially with portfolio analysis, GE model. Kindly remember the horizontal axis and vertical axis names, because ICAI will use the axis names to pose a case scenario questions on GE model. No complications will be there regarding GE model. Please remember the axis names. You will find those couple of words in the case scenario. Answer that question, get at least 4 out of 5, if possible 5 out of 5. Finally, from chapter 4, if you ask very seriously, as your well-wisher, my strong guess, hopefully it might appear in your paper also, strategic alliance. Be cautious with this concept. It will appear in your paper, strategic alliance meaning, and thereafter 4 disadvantages. No extra task. Please study the 2 disadvantages also for strategic alliance, right? Now come to the 5th chapter. Now this is the biggest chapter. Now we have selected beautiful topics. First, my strong guess is approaches to leadership style, transactional, transformational style. Be good with this. Second one, strategic change, steps to initiate strategic change, and Kurt-Lewin process. Thereafter 4 types of strategic controls. This part is very crucial for May 2025 examinations. 4 concepts: leadership approaches, strategic change, steps to initiate, Kurt-Lewin process. 2 questions are there. Strategic controls 4 are there. Be good with these first 3 to 4 questions itself. You will be a fortunate student to attempt May 2025 CA Inter SM examination. If time permits, go after SBU and matrix structure. Especially in matrix structure, there are 3 distinct phases to develop a 100% matrix structure. Be good with that question. My guess would be hourglass structure. This is one of the finest question from chapter 5 for May 2025. Then there is SCEPT is the acronym. 5 roles of strategic leader are there. How to implement a strategy. A subtopic is given in the material. It has been staying in the MTPs from long time. So please do care this question. How to practically implement strategies. You have to prepare budgets. You have to do staffing. You have to procure the resources. You have to select appropriate leadership. These are some of the points. How to change problem culture. These are remote questions, but highest probability. How culture promotes strategy execution. 5 roles of strategy. These are the list of 10 topics I have picked up from lengthiest chapter called chapter number 5. If you add up all those things now, 6 here, 8 here, 14 plus 7, 21 plus 4 or 5, 25, and thereafter, right, 29 to 30 topics are there, right? 5 chapters put together. Be good with these 2 topics. You will answer CAinter SM 2025 May examination in great style. And now one last suggestion would be total time allowed. Standard time for answering SM paper including MCQs. Descriptive part and MCQ part should be 1 hour 15 minutes, means 75 minutes. 1 hour 15 minutes. If you start at 2 p.m. you have to end it by 3:15. If you want to start after FM, it should be around 3:45 p.m. to 5 p.m. If you are not so good, it applies to certain students only, not to all the students in general. If a certain student is not so good at FM, then he may spend extra 15 minutes or so for SM answers, right? All the best for CAinter SM students for May 2025 examination. As your well-wisher, I wish you a lot of great marks in CAinter SM. Please try to clear single, both, whatever groups you are applying for. Have great results. All the best. God bless you.